Hi guys, hope you are glowing, growing, and thriving. I do. I genuinely do. And today, I'm going to talk about something that I was going back and forth with myself, debating on whether or not I should share it with you guys and saying, like, because I'm doing this from a genuine place and it is something meaningful and spiritual for me and personal, I was thinking that I wouldn't share it, but then I also started thinking there are other genuine people out there who are doing this for the right reasons as well, or for their own reasons. Whatever your reason is the right reason if it makes sense to you. But there are other people out here that could be going through this, and my experience could help them. And then there'll always be haters judging. But you know what? If you spend your time watching a video on someone that you know you don't really like, you have issues and you need help. That's not my problem. But for the people that support and understand and they're going through this, it's really could be helpful. So that's why I'm sharing this. It's really my journey. And I want to start by saying I'm in no way condoning fasting. If you don't feel that there is a spiritual reason for you to do it, or even a physical reason for you to do it, I don't recommend it. Especially if you do have any underlying health conditions or things that you've dealt with since you were a kid, like issues with your kidneys, any type of organ issues that you've had as a child and you're now an adult, I definitely would not recommend fasting. For me, it was more of a spiritual warfare reason, trying to cast out any demons from past relationships that were put into me, because even since I was a kid, I've dealt with anger problems, but certain relationships, the guy will have anger problems and then they don't know that I used to have anger problems. And so also, nobody's perfect, but I do feel that some of my past relationships have given me demons through sexual activity. And that's called a sexually transmitted demon, not a disease, but a demon. STD, sexually transmitted demon. Like, yeah, I feel like I have been given certain demons from relationships, which is why I've never been really about hookup culture, because even every time I've hooked up with people, I've been in a relationship with them where they're calling me their girlfriend. I've met their family and their parents, and I'm calling them my boyfriend, and they've met a lot of my family members. So, but that's still not marriage. So that's still a sin. And but when it comes to like hooking up with just strangers, I don't judge other people for doing it. If the right situation happened, I would do it. But I'm really like, unless I would have to be just blasted, like plastered, just like out of my mind, drunk or high, which I was at sometimes in college in my early 20s, but I don't really plan on being that at this point in my life, because I'm so focused on wellness and nutrition and stuff, and I just see alcohol as a minus sign, to be honest. But if the right situation had happened, I probably would be pro hooking up. I don't judge it. I just can't get on board with it. I get to intertwine. I want to know all the nooks and crannies of who you are, all the details of who you are. And I pride myself on having high standards. So yeah, like even when I'm in a relationship, I feel like we're headed towards marriage, or we should be headed towards marriage. You know what I mean? So I do not get down with hookup culture. I really do not. But so back to the point, fasting. It's more of a spiritual warfare thing. Any agents on the working for the devil on the other side. There's so many things in this world that can seep into your life that seem good but could be sent from Satan. But I will say all that stuff ends up showing itself in time. But like there's a lot of things that we think we like candy, pastries, baked goods. There's nothing wrong with that stuff in moderation. But what can it cause? Diabetes, health problems. Like it's just so many things. And then there's certain relationships where the guy is caring and helpful and always there for you, right? But then y'all do things together and you notice a pattern of like he's always projecting and talking down to you and making it seem like he's supportive, but he's really talking shit to you all the time. And you're just like, oh, making excuses like, oh, they're human and you're not perfect either. But then that relationship could be demonic if in the end they're not supporting you being your best self and you're not supporting him being his best self. Like, I'm all for women being supportive, but it goes both ways. And toxicity will kill you in time, over time. It seeps in slow over time and then it just takes over all at once because you stayed too long and then it's done for. But with the fast, I was surprised how, okay, so I don't recommend it if you have never fasted before. Start with 12 hours and then build your way up to 24 hours. Because I used to fast in the past, I felt like I knew I could start with 24 hours easy. But I did a 48-hour fast. And even though I did it, towards the end, I was feeling lightheaded, a little dizzy, and coconut water helped with that. There's debate on whether or not that breaks your fast, but I feel like it just gives you your electrolytes back. But because I have a history as a kid of like fainting and getting dizzy, that made me nervous, and so I stopped. I was aiming for a 72-hour fast, but during that time, it's just so relieving to not care about food, not focus on food, and get really close to God. And here's some of the benefits that I noticed. Mental clarity, first off, up front immediately. Mental clarity, focus, my senses were heightened. I could smell sharper. I could see sharper. I could hear sharper. Everything became like a new level of experiencing life. While after a little bit over the 24-hour mark of my fast, I noticed all my senses were heightened. And then it's really just a full body reset. Like, my taste buds were reset because once I broke my fast and started eating, everything tastes so fucking good. And you can tell, like, your taste buds are not the same taste buds they used to be. They're like fresh taste buds. Everything tastes so good. Like, if you have some avocado, if you have asparagus, anything you have, it tastes like it's never tasted before. It tastes really good, you know? And I'm just all for people doing this reset. This video is getting a little long, so I'm gonna do a part 2. But yeah, I did it for spiritual reasons and in my mind, I really felt like I was starving demons. I wanted to starve my demons, and I also wanted to, when it comes to calories, I wanted to do a full body reset on my metabolism, calorie intake, because when you fast, you really are doing a reset, and your stomach is shrinking. And again, if you have any like history of eating disorders, I do not recommend fasting if it's going to trigger you back into that. But if you have a history of overindulging like I have, and you are doing it for deeper reasons like getting closer with the Creator, I'm all for it. The body goes into repair mode when we fast. So as long as it's not just for superficial reasons, fasting is very beneficial when it comes to repairing the body, getting the body on track. So many things. But I'm gonna do a second video on how 48 hours of starving my flesh and feeding my spirit gave me a full body reset and the benefits of it. this is more so just talking about the spiritual side of it, not so much the benefits and the body side. So with the spiritual side of it, I opened up that Good News Bible because I like how the Good News is like a watered down, it's like all the fancy words of how they used to talk back in the old days, it modernizes it so you can understand it. So it's a Good News Bible. I could show you guys. My mother gave me it years ago, but got into the Bible. I prayed and asked God to show me the parts of the Bible that I need to see. And I asked for him to guide me through this fast and give me clarity, strength, grounded calmness, and to show me the things that I need to see in order to fulfill his purpose in my life, or the reason that he brought me here on this earth. Show me the signs of what next steps I need to make, or what you would like for me to do, because I'm here to serve you. And that's how I go about my life. None of this really matters. I'm a truth-based person that fights for right versus wrong. And at the end of the day, like, I want to be doing what God wants me to be doing. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm wasting my time. So if I'm going the wrong path, I would love for God to take me off that path and bring me where he wants me to be, because I'm just here to serve him. That's the only reason I'm breathing. He brought me here. So, and back to him we go. From him we came, and back to him we go. Along the way, Satan tries to trip us up, but the funny thing about Satan is, even though Satan is there trying to make you have setbacks and stuff like that, their attempts are so laughable. And if you really are tuned in, like if you really pay attention, it's easy to just spot that something's weird and get rid of them. Anything. It could be, like, I'm not just talking about people. I'm talking about habits. Anything where you spot Satan or the devil, it's easy to remove that. Because once you're living for the right side, it sticks out like a sore thumb. The things that are subtractions instead of plus signs to just living your life. Like, none of us have that long on this earth. But while we're here, we can have great experience or just this low level. There's vibrational levels. And even just crossing paths with narcissists, they know that you're on a higher level than them. They don't really know how to describe it vibrationally. But if you entertain them, they try to pull you down to their level. And if you do let them in your life, they do pull you down to their level. But you can't really cross paths with a narcissist unless you're already vibrating low. So some of us need to address that. And a lot of us were. In our early 20s, if we weren't walking with God and we weren't protected, we didn't have that shield of armor. I was lukewarm when I met my narcissist. So I didn't have that shield of protection. And when you're lukewarm and you're not for the bad side, but you're not fully on the good side, then you're unprotected out here. And when you walk around unprotected, you could get pulled to the other side. And that's exactly what was attempted to happen. But in my own little ways, just day to day, my habits were already so positive that I was constantly fighting back with good, which pissed off the darkness. Like, good was constantly fighting the bad. And then eventually I had to choose, like, okay, this bad is becoming so obvious that I have to get rid of it, or it's gonna consume me and I'm gonna be fighting for the bad side. So the fast was for spiritual warfare reasons, to cast out demons. I believe there's a portion in the Bible, I don't know exactly where, but it said the only way to have deliverance and get these demons cast out of you is through fasting and prayer. And all this stuff used to sound crazy to me when I was younger and I was lukewarm. But after going through the relationship I went through and just seeing the guy I dated, his jealousy towards me, and I didn't even know what there was to be jealous of. Like his jealousy and his hatred towards me and my light. Like, I don't know, I think he wanted to be a girl or something. He was just jealous that I got to be a girl and I got to be pretty. And he was just like, I'm going to ruin your experience if you stay around me. And that's exactly what he did, so I got the hell away from him. But that, just experiencing him and experiencing that showed me right there that there is warfare out here that is inside. And that whole relationship was war, basically. Because the war for the good side is you being the best version of yourself, having a lot of money, succeeding, winning. The bad side is you being who you are with them, looking crazy, not knowing who you're supposed to be. That's the bad side. And that's with any individual. Not that one person is that special than the other, more special. But the thing is, it really made me fine-tune my standards. Like, okay, just because somebody's acting nice towards me, that's not enough. If I get a weird vibe, I'm trusting my gut. Period. And with this person that ended up being a traitor and an op and who hated my guts, there was because I was on birth control, there was a lot of unprotected sex, and I had to go get tested because I just got so paranoid about that once I realized how much he was cheating. Because like, I helped him get a good job, and then of course the cheating started paying for hookers and all this stuff. I don't even want to talk about that, but got tested, found out everything was fine so far. Well, we don't talk, so things are fine, but probably wouldn't have had HPV. That's a whole nother story. A lot of people have HPV. Anyways, not me telling my business, I'm sorry, but don't judge me, guys. It goes away anyway after like 2 or 3 years. So I'm sure I have cleansed it out. The way that I stock up on the health stuff, I'm always fighting back with good stuff. Fighting the bad with the good. Always. But that relationship showed me that something can be good and something's not right. Trust that. If it feels like something's not right, it's not. And on the opposite end, if something feels magnetic and great and y'all just like vibe, go with it. Trust that. But I never felt that magical, wonderful feeling. I never felt any chemistry with this guy. And he ended up being exactly what I really knew he was deep down from the beginning. A psychopath and a crazy person that was obsessed with me. So anyways, the fast was to cast out any demons that I may have gotten from unprotected sex. And that's what kept me going. That was my motivation. And also getting closer to the Creator and asking him, what would you like me to do with my time here on earth? Please show me how to go through life, what you want my calling to be, how you want me to serve others and serve you, why you brought me here through my mother and father. Please show me my purpose. And the fast was very calming and soothing and necessary. I didn't feel like myself until it was over. And I feel like I wish I had gone 72 hours. My heart started fluttering and I started feeling dizzy, so I stopped. But I'm building my way back up to 72 hours. I did do a full 48 hours, almost 50 really. It was like headed towards 49 hours. And the first 24 hours were a breeze. So I'm gonna start at 24 hours the first few times. I'm gonna do it a lot more because I just feel like it's helping me become more of a spiritual being. And this is all in a simulation anyway. But like, we have the power to mold everything in our lives. I've always known that, but it's really time to start executing it, you know? And energy is power. Energy is everything. Energy is the source, and energy doesn't die. So that's the most relieving thing to realize, is that you're going somewhere when you leave this vessel. Like, this is just a video game. You're in this vessel. Energy cannot be killed though. So you're headed to that next level in the video game. And that is like a reason to throw a party right there. Energy cannot die. While we're on this earth though, make money from your energy, period. But yeah, the fast was to starve demons. It did that. I also realized how overloaded I was unnecessarily. Like, I wasn't myself. I had made food a crutch. Not just from boredom, but like emotional comfort. But I had been doing that. I won't even blame the ex and the guy I dated for that. I grew up doing that. I think I did that like when my parents separated for a while, and then they got back together. And during the time when they separated, I didn't know how to handle it. Because when they separated, my dad moved out and I was living with my mom, and he was doing his own thing, and I think that's when the snacking began. And then a lot of my friends did snacking too, but I just went overboard. Like, I'm really sad about this, so I deserve an extra serving or whatever. But I was never obese or anything, but I think that's when it really started. And then by college, I would always balance it out with the gym. But even when you work out, if you're overeating, that's another problem in itself. Like, if you stop working out, then that's bad. But overeating is not something you need to do, no matter how much you're working out. So I was overeating and working out. So then I was just maintaining like a okay weight, like average, but kind of got a round face. But I never felt like myself. Overeating and not working out enough. So, and those are the little ways that Satan will seep in. Things that happen that you can't handle in your family. And that's your way of like coping. That's your cigarette. That's your cocaine. That extra snack, that extra dessert. That's your cocaine. That's your fix. And I'm starting to realize how we're all just battling demons every day and choosing either the light or the dark. But yeah, it was very mentally clearing. And then I like to fast when I'm working because it really helps me focus on work and have like a really clear mind. And I just realized that starting with 24 hours was probably something I should have done, and that's what I'm going to do moving forward. So I'm going to do 3 24-hour ones and really just get grounded and talk to the Creator and open up more of a spiritual side of myself. And then I'm going to elevate to 3 48-hour ones, and then do 3 72-hour ones. So I'm going to work my way up to a 3-day fast because I know I can do it. But because I haven't fasted in so long, in years, and I was just overeating at those restaurants and stuff with a person that didn't like me or have my best interest at heart, because I was doing all that and hadn't been fasting in a while, I don't think it was wise for me to just assume I'm the same as I used to be. Because I forget, like, yeah, you used to fast all the time, but you were 24. Now, you're a little bit older. Your body's a little bit different. Things are creaking and, like, I'm not saying I'm old, but, like, to act like I'm 24 still and I'm not is also kind of loony. So that's why I just jumped into a 3-day fast like I'm 24, but I'm not. So I have to build my way back up to it. But yeah, I hope I didn't talk you guys' heads off. If you're still watching, you're a real one, and keep growing, and thriving. See you in the next one. Bye.